for the little recap of each GRL week. Shout out to Rose for winning season 4. Get that nigga out of here, man, too quick. Shane as well, see you later. But yeah, all jokes aside, man, this season's going to be very entertaining. So this is my final run of Bahrain. I went for a high downforce setup, not really high downforce, but I was running a relatively high wings just to test it out, and also I kind of backed myself to set a decent enough lap to be around the front runners, so I wouldn't really be worried about people's straight line speed towards the back of the grid. So yeah, this was a pretty decent lap, but a lot of time could have been gained at this turn 8. Was very, very bad. It was the worst I took it. I think in my first one I took it very well, and as you'll see, the delta, look at the delta, I lose a 10th. So yeah, and then also subsequently I knew I was under a bit of pressure, so I had a bit of oversteer here. And you'll actually see throughout this video I get a lot of oversteer at that corner because obviously I'm using higher wings and I wasn't really used to using the high wings. But all in all, the lap was pretty tidy. Someone binned it there, angry. They are very angry. And then yeah, bringing it round. Last corner, took all right, to be honest. And yeah, I think I put it on P3. Obviously I wanted to start on the softs, I knew it. I don't think a lot of people knew how good the softs are on this track. So yeah, I started on the softs, and it was just a case of me and Alec obviously using these softs to our advantage. Obviously I go wide turn 1 to avoid any chaos, and then me and Alec kind of got to just dip and make sure we're not carrying them along. And by lap 3 I think we broke DRS quite efficiently, and all in all I think ideally if I was running lower wings I'd probably, or maybe a couple of clicks lower, I would have probably been able to rotate with Alec in terms of taking the lead. But because my wings were so high, by the time we got to the straight I just wasn't able to really attack or, you know, take the lead. But in any event, I thought, you know what, let me just take the lead of this race for a bit. So slap on the overtake, pass Alec, and yeah, kind of just took the lead for one lap or so, and I think he takes it back lap 5. And this was in fact the last time I led this race. Fair play to Alec, it was quite quick around here. I don't think he's ever won here though, so we'll see if he wins in this race. And yeah, lap 7, still in the DRS, obviously a nice little healthy lead, and that lead's obviously, ordinarily that lead would get worse as well, because the undercut is so powerful, and obviously being on the softs we were going to pit earlier, so at this point I knew second place was kind of guaranteed, what I thought. And then yeah, went wide there, so I knew this had to be my in lap because I was just losing too much time at this point. But something really weird happens here. So if you look, I'm 1.3 seconds behind Alec on the entry, then I get held up in the pits for some reason. He passes and I'm still held, so I lose about 3 temps. Shout out to K Lulu, he's just pulling up here. Hopefully one day I'll actually race him on the track rather than always having to come out and battle him after leaving the pits. But one day I'll race him on the track. But yeah, shout out to him, man. I do love having water wheels with him. But yeah, so all of a sudden I'm 2 seconds behind Alec. This game stinks, man. And then I see Adam, like a bitch, give his teammate P1. And yeah, to be honest with you, at this point I kind of knew I got shagged a bit, so P2 it was. Heading to lap 11, I was just thinking, let me just overtake this guy quickly. So this uncle goes deep on them hards, and then yeah, I don't know what, look at him, send that guy to Tesco, he needs some milk, get out of the way, man. But yeah, other than that I thought, yep, P2's kind of guaranteed. And then chaos, Bolu goes into the wall. I don't know how you DNF in Bahrain, respectfully, but Bolu don't play the game. But yeah, the guy went into the wall, and yeah, once again, you'll see as well in the next race, I get caught napping on safety car restarts. I really need to sort that out because I don't know, man. These safety car restarts, I could have probably just, put a bit more pressure on Alec. But yeah, other than that, my mediums were fried. And obviously, I kind of knew it was a matter of time that these soft runs would get me. But at this point, I forgot that SM was on older softs. I forgot that. But in any event, I missed the apex here, and that was kind of my last opportunity to get in the DRS of Alec. So I knew I was going to be in a bit of trouble here. But those three were fighting behind me, so I had another chance to kind of get out of that 1 second window. But you'll see, I don't have a series of good laps at all. And I know I was on harder mediums or the harder compound that were obviously older, but I really could have done a bit better. I wasn't really racing well. You can obviously get double overtaken here, so I just had to slide into the slipstream of Alex to make sure Loire didn't take me as well. It's really, really good racing. And here, I kind of needed to hit that apex because obviously, my goodness, I'm on the harder compound, so Loire gets the run on me. I have to collect a bit of marbles because I needed to go defensive, and then yeah, he just swings it around the outside and just cuts across. So to be honest with you, if I kept fighting there, I would have spun out. In any event, last lap of the race, I thought he's been flashing since lap 3. Let me get this guy out of here. So I veer towards the inside, then go around the outside. He lags a bit here, and that throws me off a little bit. It makes me brake a bit earlier. Initially I thought he kind of forced me out wide here. Then I realised Charlie Tellier was there. And on the exit, no TC or not, they got fresher tyres. I knew I was in a bit of trouble. Shout out to SM for not dive bombing me here. For those who don't know, we're going to be entering a new league on a Sunday, so I think he just allowed me. But I know someone else would have got put in a spliff. But obviously, being my teammate on that Sunday league, he just thought better of that. So yeah, brought it home P5. I don't think there were any other penalties. So yeah, I finished P5, which was a bit disappointing. I thought P2 was up for grabs. Singapore, look at this. So this was meant to be my in lap, and I had no fuel, so that means I could only do 2 runs. And for anyone who does Singapore, I can't lie to you, you have to do all 3 runs. So yeah, it left a lot of pressure on this lap, and this was probably one of the worst laps I've ever done. Singapore was one of my favourite tracks, but there was just too much pressure on this lap, and I'll be real, I just crumbled. I literally just crumbled. So many times I missed the apex and got too much oversteer, and which meant I went over the curbs, and the curbs in Singapore ain't great. Even there I meant to go a bit wider, but because I didn't want to invalidate, given that I'd only done 1 run, I had to kind of take the corner so much more cautiously. Here I go over that curb, which you're not meant to do. That kills a bit of time, and then I go over this curb. So as you can see, I'm already having an awful lap. You're meant to swing the car a bit wider there as well. I didn't do that. In all honesty, it was just too much pressure. Way too much pressure on this last lap. And this turn here as well, you're meant to swing the car a bit wider. I didn't. And then I go over this curb. Kills my minimum speed. Nearly going to the wall. And at this point, the lap, I just gave up. And then, yeah, go over this curb as well. You can just see how much time is lost. And I think going forward, I just got to pay a bit more attention. I was singing on the in lap. I don't know why I was singing. And I just missed the pit. And as a result, this is the knock-on effect. So I think I crossed the line in P9. Yeah, I ended up P9. And then, yeah, started the race. Disclaimer, this race was tremendously boring. I'll be honest with you, I really wanted to be up with the front runners. So I considered going on the softs, but in the end I just thought better of it because tyre deck here is mad. Robert lagging all over the gaff. Jesus Christ. Get him at Ethernet. But me and Joe, a little bit of a battle here. I kind of wanted to avoid him. Cynical Games had a bit of a mare, and then I was watching Cynical and went into the back of Ben there, so apologies for that. But yeah, it's lap 1 antics, isn't it? Here I thought I could have got a better result here. If I managed to keep this position, you'll see. Unfortunately, Joe takes me. Joe was very slow on this track. I'll be so honest with you, he was so slow. But yeah, an incident happens here, which gives me 2 positions, so back to P7. And I realised Joe was braking too heavily there, so I kind of just lifted, took the inside line, got myself to P6, sorry. And then my race kind of started here, but by this stage, I'm out of the DRS of them lot. It was just going to be a long day. Safety car restart. Another poor safety car restart. Get caught napping. I'm 1.3 seconds as we cross the line. Now I'm having to burn ERS. It was just chaotic, man. I don't know what it is. Safety car restarts. I'm just very, very, very poor. And at this point, there's an incident there. Well, Adam's got a drive through. Yeah, he was going to go defensive there, but he didn't, thankfully. He held up my teammate though, unfortunately, but it didn't cost him any positions anyway. And then yeah, from there to lap 22, little cheeky reset there. I didn't snitch on him, by the way, someone else snitched. I'll be real, he's my teammate for the other league, so I didn't snake, but that reset was nasty. And then we crossed the line, P5. Obviously that became P4 because SM got a 20-second penalty for resetting to track. Completely forbidden. And yeah, interesting start to the season. I think next week is GB and Abu Dhabi, so I cannot wait for those two. And one's a sprint as well. And if you look at the standings, yeah, they're going to change a lot. The likes of Tom Duval joining, etc., etc. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But yeah, join me again next week and we go again.